Okay, can we just get the to be seated, please? We're going to get this underway. And then let's just dash it out to the knees. Okay, so thank you so much for coming from wherever it is that you've travelled here in Melbourne and beyond. And this is going to be a next very powerful, insightful and exciting next couple of hours where we are just so proud to be able to share with you what it is that we have here with Vivify. And if it's anything like we've experienced for the last few hours with Stephen and Samara and some beautiful, really senior people in the business, leadership people, you're in for a real treat. We've got something new and exciting, and I hope that you really feel the essence of what it is that we are offering here and what it is that you actually come to have a look at here. This is exceptionally exciting, and you know, I'm hoping that you might feel a little privileged to be here because we are new and we have got a lot of healing and prosperity creating to do here. We're just so excited. So without further ado, I'm going to invite our diamond in the business here, the dynamic, the wonderful, the effervescent, absolutely beautiful, heart of soul, heart of energy, effervescent bubble, Beck White.
Thank you, everyone. Are we waiting on anyone else out there, Deb? Okay. Are you going to be the door girl? Okay. Awesome. You may have seen this before. It's okay. You won't miss out on much. So just so I know, where are most people? Who is their first time coming to an opportunity event here? Put your hands up. Don't be shy. Excellent. I won't point you out. Don't worry. I'm joking. You're all up the front. No, you're not. You're not up the front. It's okay. So welcome, guys. I'm really, really excited to be here. My name's Rebecca White. I have travelled here from South Australia, Mount Gambier, actually. I'm a bit of a country girl. Big city scares me. No, not really. But I do love the country, and I've travelled here because we have an absolutely incredible, once-in-a-lifetime experience, very, very new opportunity, and, of course, an incredible, extremely amazing and miraculous product that we want to share with you. So I'm just going to check quickly. Is this recording on here? Do I need to put my face on here or
no,
not really?
We can.
No, that's fine. Because I'm thinking about the clicker and all that stuff. All right, guys. So now that I don't have to worry about that, I think I'll be fine. So if you have not, that's okay. I just wanted to check if I needed to make sure I was on the two-step. Yeah, no distractions. Fully focused. All right, so I do this presentation all the time online, and it's really simple online. It's a little bit harder in person, I think, but I think I'll manage it. I'm going to rise to the occasion. So first of all, we are talking about the golden drops, and I hope that you somehow qualified and had some experience or heard of the golden drops so far. And put your hands up if you've heard of the golden drops so far, even if it's just a little bit. Right, and if it's your first time and people have told you about the golden drops, and they've told you some of the stories, were you a bit like me and you were like, that sounds a bit too good to be true? If that was you, that's okay. Don't be shy about that. That was me. I was a little bit like, these stories sound a little bit too good to be true. So make sure you listen up because I was exactly the same. I know exactly where you were, and I can definitely validate that, you will get to where I am now for sure. So firstly, the golden drops, it is a pre-launch opportunity. We are excited to bring this to you because it is extremely new. We aren't even open yet. We are in pre-launch. So that means that when we're talking about the birth of this baby, as we have been already today, we're just at the peanut stage. We're not even at the avocado stage. We're just very, very new. So that's really exciting. If you're a little bit if you understand business, if you understand this industry and anything like that, that's really exciting. That gets me excited. Of course, we had to do the disclaimer. I am not a qualified physician. This presentation is not intended to provide medical advice. It is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not take the place of medical advice or treatment from a physician. I know I talk fast. I'm just going to talk fast in this bit, okay? You should not use the information contained herein for diagnosing a health problem or disease. If you think that you have a medical condition, please consult with your doctor or qualified healthcare physician. And now we've got that underway. This is what I really like to ask because I'm a problem solver. I really like to help people. I'm an impact-driven entrepreneur, and I like to help people. It makes me feel good. It helps to fill my bucket. So for me, when I first discovered this product and I discovered the opportunities within the product, physically and financially, emotionally, mentally, you know, I was recognizing this. I was recognizing this solves two of the biggest issues right now, right? Of course. And I ask you the question, what if you could solve two of the major issues of 2023 and beyond? Because again, you know, we're only starting out here. And we're talking about, of course, inflammation and inflation. So inflammation, I think most people would have heard about that, but we're going to jump straight into inflammation. Of course, it's an epidemic. It's everywhere. Everyone's got it and they don't even realize it half the time. But when you're going and getting test results from the doctor or anything else, most of the time they're checking it, whether they tell you or not, they're checking on your inflammation level. That, you know, when you've got aches and pains, when you've got chronic illnesses, a lot of the autoimmune, all this other stuff that's going on in the world right now, it's all to do with inflammation. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about inflammation. The opportunity to help people, I believe, is really priceless. And that's what really fills the void in my heart. Helping people and seeing results in people. It's really quite phenomenal. So people are going, oh, do I have inflammation? I don't know. Well, if you walked in like this, I'm telling you, you've got inflammation. If you walked in like just a little bit of an ache or pain in your knee, or you got out of the car and it was really hard and stiff, you've probably got inflammation. Just a little FYI, but I'm not a doctor, so please check it out for yourself. But we do know that inflammation is a chronic common denominator of all chronic illness. So I didn't have to do this research. The research is already there. We're talking about all the things on the screen behind me. Of course, we're talking about autoimmune. We're talking about diabetes, which is part of the endocrine system. We're talking about all of these things on the screen that have a common denominator, and no one can dispute it, common denominator of chronic inflammation. Okay, so we can all agree on that. Does that make sense? Excellent. So again, we've got I don't know about you, but my husband's got a really dicky knee, like his knee, he needs replacing, right? And he knows he's got a lot of inflammation in it. The inflammation is there because it's painful. Because when he wakes up, he was like, oh, my knee is hurting, you know, lots of inflammation, and especially in the joints. What we like to talk about here tonight, or today, not tonight, is of course curcumin, because a lot of us are impact driven and we like to do things naturally. The last 3 years, we've really started to think about alternative ways, especially in our health, and probably for a bit longer, but especially the last 3 years. And of course, they're talking about the beautiful curcumin plant. They're talking about turmeric. Curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric, okay? It's been around for thousands of years. It originated in India. Our curcumin comes from India. Good thing to know. Of course, Ayurvedic medicine's used it for thousands of years, and there is literally 20, probably more, thousands of studies on turmeric and curcumin and how great it is. So again, I love the fact that we don't have to do all that research. It's research from everywhere around the world, and it's nothing to do with us necessarily. It's just well known. It's been studied so many times, right? The research is there, and of course, the research on curcumin is there as well. Yes, inflammation is important, it helps us and all the rest of it, but chronic inflammation causes chronic conditions, okay? So that's where the difference is. Someone said to me, isn't inflammation good for you? I'm like, yeah, some of it, a little bit of it, but not what we're seeing in the world today. Certainly not great. So when we're talking about curcumin, and we're talking about the benefits, and we're talking about all of those studies, it's great because the studies are already done, and the studies show that curcumin is great for all of these things. Can you see anything on there that you can think of that might actually help you or a friend or a family? Isn't it just phenomenal to actually realize what this natural herb and natural product can do just from all the studies, right? Of course, I always say do your own research. Go to PubMed.com. Go to Dr. Google. No, don't go to Dr. Google. Go to PubMed.com. Check it out. What is curcumin good for? I've got an ailment. I've got this wrong with me. That one was wrong with me. My family is suffering from this. Whatever it may be, go to PubMed. Check it out. Is curcumin good for this? Do it for yourself. You're going to be pleasantly surprised because curcumin is absolutely phenomenal for so many things. Of course, the biggest thing I've learned in the last 6 months is that there's an issue with the bioavailability. What does that mean in layman's terms? So in layman's terms, because, you know, I'm just a mum, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not any of those things. I'm a mum, a netball coach, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, I like really lots of things, but I'm not a scientist. And so I didn't actually understand this really completely. So in layman's terms, bioavailability means the absorption rate. How does it get absorbed? So curcumin or turmeric and a lot of other things out there are like a lipid molecule, like a fat to an oil. And of course, our body and our blood is made up of water. Can everyone hear me all right? Does that make sense? Did everyone know our body is already made up of water? Yeah, okay, that's good. This room is very intelligent. That's, just that is really good. Okay, so we've got this fat or this oil, and we've got this amazing product that's a lipid molecule, and then we've got our body, and it's, of course, the blood is made up of water. And for decades, scientists have been trying to see how can we get it into the bloodstream. We know it's great. We can see all this stuff. Oh my God, it's incredible. No one can actually absorb it. That's been the biggest issue, and it is actually the biggest issue on the supplement market. You know what I mean, supplement. That's a new word. I just made up a new word. Write that one down. I'm going to trademark that one later. Okay. So until now, of course, this is what we're here to discover. We're here to discover the absolutely amazing breakthrough technology. So breakthrough meaning incredible, new, actually works, we know, because again, that's why we get these incredible results. This is why we're going to be hearing about the incredible testimonials. This bioMS technology is like nothing else. And this is what we get excited about, right? This bioMS technology is clinically proven. Of course, it's out of the University of Hohenheim. I don't know if I've said that right either, but that's okay. It's a German technology, German university. And it can prove that it is 277 times more bioavailable than native curcumin and turmeric. 277 times more. So again, you've got the people and they were cutting up the curcumin and putting the pepper in and all of that stuff. And that was great, but it still was nothing like what we've got. Nothing, nowhere even close to what we've got. Of course, you can see down the bottom, it's 114 times more for men. I don't know why, but women, we've just got the better metabolism about it. That's just the way it is. So if you're a man, take it morning and night. That's just a little tip from me. But 277 times more, even 114 times more bioavailable in the bloodstream. Could you imagine when we already know how amazing it is and why now we can start to see all these stories in that Facebook group, maybe they are right. Maybe they actually do. It is what they're saying, right? Because when I first seen it, I was like, really? That seems too good to be true. I had to do some more research. So again, I'm not a scientist, but I'm going to explain this in layman's terms, I hope. This bioMS technology is called mycell-solubilite. We'll just call it bioMS, okay? This bioMS technology is it's a multi-patented nanotechnology, but it's a good nanotechnology, guys. Don't be frightened about that. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, nanotechnology, I'm going to find out a bit more about that. It just means that we've nanofied it. So we've made it teeny tiny. That curcumin, we've basically got it down. It's a non-GMO curcumin. And of course, it's going through that organic certification, all of that sort of stuff. But what it is nanofied down to teeny tiny. It's like 30 nanometers. So if you think about a hair at being 50,000 nanometers thick, this is 30 nanometers. And then they've got this micelle structure that actually coats that nanofied curcumin, which is allowing it to get into the bloodstream. That is the actual key there. It's like, I explain it like a submarine. It just comes in, drops off the curcumin, and then leaves the body. It's the perfect delivery system. Absolutely incredible. So you can see how tiny it is there. Just love that about it. And it works so well, and it's just incredible. So let's just have a look. Is my clicker working? Oh yeah, hope it's not working too much. Okay, so there we go. So what I do like about this as well, I like to show just a little bit of this. We could have expanded this presentation out, but I like to just give you the little bit of information that you need to understand how absolutely phenomenal this is. And this graph right here goes into the bloodstream, and unlike any other curcumin product, stays in the bloodstream for 24 hours. So you can see the man and the woman there, native curcumin and turmeric, you'd be lucky to get it in your bloodstream for an hour, and you'd be lucky if you had got 10% in your bloodstream. And this product right here, straight into the bloodstream within 10 minutes, put it under your tongue, it's like 5 minutes or less. That's my little tip there. And then, of course, 24 hours in the bloodstream. If you're anything like me, I just hack it. I just hack it a little bit. I take it morning and night. I just love this stuff, right? Can't get enough. Morning and night, stay in my blood. Thank you. All right, so we also want to know certifications, all of those things. We want to know if it's non-GMO right now. We want to know that it's going through all of the things that we just got to do our checks. So that's a good thing to understand with this product. We also want to know what are we actually talking about. And we did not bring Symbiofy with us. That was very silly. But what we did bring were the golden drops. So we have two different types of golden drops. So we're really clear here. People get confused, they're both golden drops. One is called a nanofy, it's like the original golden drop. That is the curcumin plus the vitamin D. The curcumin plus is like the next level of the golden drops, like the curcumin, the vitamin D plus vitamin C and ginger. Okay, that's all the difference. Not a lot of difference, but a little bit of difference. And of course, if you love ginger or you have stomach ailments or anything like that, you might like the nanofied curcumin plus, or you do what I did and I tried one for a month, then I tried the next one for a month, and I actually seen what my body responded to better and what I liked the best. And guess what? I like them both, but one may have worked better for me, but every single person's different. People ask me that all the time. Which one do you think for this, or which one do you think for that? I guarantee you every single person is completely different. So please do yourself a favor, get one of each if you can, because of course we've had massive demand. If you can get your hands on one of each and actually give your body a good go at this, you will soon know which one you like. Absolutely. We also have the Symbiofy. The Symbiofy is a prebiotic and probiotic gut health cleanse. So of course with gut health, we know, connected to all the other stuff that we really love. So that's our products, guys. That's what it is. We really focus on the golden drops. 2 types of golden drops. We don't want to confuse anyone. Let's just get right down to it. So what are the side effects of taking this stuff anyway? Just so you know, I want to set the expectations. You will have a really potent antioxidant. Your body will respond in many different ways. And if you take it like we tell you to take it, within that 1 up to 3 months, you will have effects. Absolutely. Some people notice it very quickly. Some people take a bit longer, but it has an extremely good anti-inflammatory response. We already know this because we've already been told about curcumin, right? So it's no surprise to us that this stuff has an extraordinary response because it's 277 times more than native curcumin. Of course, it helps sustain healthy intestinal function, improves cognitive function. We always get, I don't know about you guys, but anybody that's shared this before, you always get, oh, the brain fog is lifted. I didn't even know I had brain fog, but all of a sudden, I can actually speak better. I don't get my words all caught up in my mouth. Has anyone experienced that? Yeah, absolutely. And of course, cell regeneration. So as Roberta would say, she likes to age backwards. We've got the stuff for you. All right, so Symbiofy. This is an unsung hero a little bit. I do love my Symbiofy, and I'm going to apologise to the box at home that I left. But anyway, I do use it every single day. I absolutely love this stuff. This is amazing. It's a prebiotic and probiotic gut health cleanse. And if you marry that up with the golden drops, you're going to get just absolutely profound results. Straight up, I can guarantee you of that. But if you do have any issues with the gut health, then definitely get yourself this cleanse. It's the easiest cleanse you're ever going to do. It's 10 days. 4 tablets a day, 10 days, and that's it. You only have to do that once a month if you want. I choose to take it every single day because I really love the effects. I've got an autoimmune disease that actually helps me for a lot of other things. So that's just my choice. But of course, what are the side effects of taking this? Well, you're going to have a whole body detox if you don't, just so you know. Improves nutrient absorption. It exhibits antidepressant properties. That's really important in this day and age. Gut health and brain health. Connected. We know this. Science is already done. I'm not doing the science. That's not my job, but I tell you, you can go do the research. The science is there. And it can, of course, it can contribute to the cognitive health. Again, gut health, brain health. Who's experienced that when they're taking this in Wi-Fi? Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Oh, Brenda could not be with us today, so she's here in spirit and on the screen. So Brenda is, of course, in the States. She has an absolutely epic story about sleep, because again, this is a very common thing that we notice, and it's a side effect of taking this product is that you're going to get better sleep. So we will share more about that. But where Brenda shares her story and where a lot of us share our story is in this incredible Facebook group. So if you are on Facebook and if you are first getting interested, make sure you are in this group. A picture says 1,000 words, but of course there are literally thousands of stories. I think there's like 15 or 17,000 people in this group now. It's in the thousands. It's huge. So definitely get yourself in that group. Go to the search button, pop up there and just check what it is you're looking for. You will be astounded by the results and by the stories. Whoop. Okay. And of course, what I love about this is what it's doing for the pets, what it's doing for the animals. I myself, that's my little picture there, the one that likes to chew cords. He loves his curcumin every day. So he's a puppy. He hasn't had necessarily any ailments, but one of my dogs, Taco, has really bad hotspots. Little Taco, my son named him after his favourite food. So anyway, So Taco has hotspots. It's just a little multi Shih Tzu. I don't know if your dog's ever had hotspots, but or you've ever gone to the vet a million times, but it costs a lot of money when your dog has issues and you're going to the vet a lot, right? So now, instead of going to the vet all the time, I just give him 1 drop of this a day. He's only a small dog. No more hotspots. We haven't had to go to the vet. Save me a ton of money. This one over here, this is Spike. This is a local dog. I seen him on my Facebook and he's local to my area, my small town. And I just reached out to her and I said, hey, I see that she's always saying about her dog and she's very, very allergic to everything. I think it's an albino kind of thing, just really high allergies. And you see the red rash on his face. And I said, I think this product might actually help him. I want to donate a bottle to Spike. I'm not donating one to you. You got to buy one, but I'm going to donate one to Spike. Okay. So she was really pleased, and she goes, "All right, give it a go." She literally spends thousands of dollars on Spike the dog because he has to have different food, different things, and always at the vets. Within 1 week, we got this result, which is just incredible. So she said all the pinkness is starting to go and the hair's starting to grow back in 1 week. So the vets, after years of going and spending all that money, sorry, I do go on and on about the pets a lot, because, that's just what I love as well. But again, animals do not have a placebo effect. In that group, you'll see testimonials about dogs, you'll see testimonials about horses, you'll see testimonials about other animals. They don't have a placebo effect. So we know we're onto something pretty phenomenal when we see these results. Again, it's nice and simple to use. You can have it in water, warm water first thing in the morning, or straight on under the tongue or on the tongue first thing in the morning. Phenomenal. But if you don't like it like that, you can have it in your coffee, your tea. You can have it in other drinks. Really simple to use. 10 drops a day. 10 drops in that bottle lasts a month. 300 drops in the bottle. Okay. So now I'd like to get Roberta up because we've actually got some great stories to share and some great testimonials that are local and here right now with us. So thank you so much. Roberta is a lead in our business and an absolutely amazing leader. And she's helping me to present today. So thank you so much, Roberta.
Thank you, Liz. A pleasure. I'm sure everyone would agree that a testimonial with pictures tells 1,000 words, but to actually hear them and see them in front of your very eyes is incredibly powerful. And so we have some testimonials here today for you to really, really feel what these are truly doing for people. And so I think we might have Olivia come up first, along with her mum, Michelle Jones, who is in my business and has absolutely helped so many, but more importantly, a beautiful daughter who we are blessed to have here with us today. And I think if there's one testimonial that really gets me here every time, it's the testimonial of the Jones family. And so, Olivia, how are you feeling, sweetheart?
Okay, that's
That's great. That's fantastic. So, Olivia is a very special, beautiful young lady about to turn 18 very, very soon. And Olivia has basically had her whole life turned upside down in the most positive and profound way, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes. And so would you like to share a little of what your journey's been with the Golden Drops to date? Thank you, darling.
Thank you for asking me to share my story today. When I was 5, I was diagnosed with cancer in my brain and spine. It causes a lot of problems such as mobility issues, concentration issues, severe anxiety, meltdowns, and poor motor skills. It also caused scoliosis in my spine. The spinal tumor has grown 3 times over the years, and each time I had to have treatment. When it grew again in 2021, my left leg completely stopped working. I had radiation and high-dose steroid treatment. The treatment was successful, and I did manage to walk again, but the tumor growth caused my scoliosis rods to snap, so I had to have a full spinal fusion to correct it. Unfortunately, because I hadn't reached my full strength before the big surgery, my hip muscles didn't cope with being pulled back into place. And after the surgery, I was unable to walk without a frame again. I was devastated but determined to get off the walking frame. For 63 weeks, I did intensive physio 3 days a week, but I just couldn't seem to improve much at all. I still needed my walking frame for all movement and a wheelchair for distances. It was so frustrating to work so hard for more than a year and not improve much at all. Mum is always looking for supplements to try and help me, and one day she found the golden drops. I started taking them in veggie cups every day, and suddenly everything started changing. In the first week of using the drops, Mum and Dad noticed that I was getting up off the couch much faster and without wincing. In week 2, Mum asked me if my leg brace was on properly, and to check it, I jumped. I don't know why, I just felt like I could, which was weird because I hadn't been able to jump for 10 years. Mum and Dad were staring at each other with their mouths open. It was pretty funny. In week 3, we saw my rehab pediatrician. She said my muscle range was the best she'd seen it since my relapse and asked what we were doing differently. Mum was pretty excited by this point, and then in week 4 it was Mother's Day, and the most exciting thing happened. For the first time in 63 weeks, I walked without my walking frame. And now I will turn you over to my mum.
Mother of a superhero, obviously. I'll never forget that Mother's Day. It is so hard as a mother to not only watch your child lose the ability to walk, but to then watch her working so hard in rehab for over a year without getting much improvement at all. So when I say that these golden drops have been life-changing, I'm not kidding, really, really life-changing. So it's been 3 months since we took her first steps without that walking frame, and her mobility has continued to improve. Every physio session now brings improvement, and she's now allowed to walk around the house with just a crutch by herself, which is phenomenal given where we've come from and how long that's taken. Absolutely incredible. And when she's with us or with a physio by her side, she can now walk around the house without that crutch as well, just with that support just in case. But it's all just going incredibly well. And her left leg is getting so much stronger now that when she does walk without the frame, she can get a proper stride happening now, which is huge, absolutely huge. So I have full confidence that she will achieve her goal, which is to walk across the stage at her graduation at the end of the year, without her frame, without a crutch, and without someone next to her. So that's the big goal, and I'm absolutely sure that she'll achieve it because she's going so well. Aside from the obvious mobility improvements, Olivia has also had some very life-changing things happen. Her concentration has improved immensely. She's no longer having meltdowns. Her anxiety has decreased dramatically, and she can stop and think instead of reacting impulsively. She can engage genuinely in conversations, and we really do have our girl back. She is thriving, which is amazing. I'm not going to cry. For me personally, my anxiety disappeared only days after I started using the golden drops. I was living in a constant state of stress, so the difference was obvious not just to me but to my family. I'm sure my husband will agree I'm a much nicer person to live with now. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Lots of people say that. So I also no longer get daily headaches and neck pain. I haven't used my wheat pack since we started on the box, or on wheat pack since I'm with Dad. My hormones are balanced out, and my plantar fasciitis pain is gone. I feel human again. I can function and I can focus. And my family are just so grateful for these drops and for the amazing company and just for everyone we've met along the way. And we thank you very much for letting me share our story today.
Thank you, Michelle. We often in our team refer to as the ripple effect. And you know, you drop a stone in the water and you watch that ripple effect, and you know the ripple effect that it has in the Jones family is evident, and it would be just worth coming today just to hear that. Would you agree? Yes, just absolutely incredible. So I would like to invite Justine up next. So Justine is my sponsor. I was blessed that she sent me a profound message to my telephone, and I ignored it for a couple of weeks, and then I and I got back to it, and then I took a closer look, and so here we are, and I'm forever grateful that you invited me to have a look. So, would you like to share the story of your wonderful, gorgeous pet? I would love to. I just want to start with this opportunity. Right?
Bit closer?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I'm not used to microphones, I don't normally need them. Yeah, so these drops have done two things for my family, the inflammation and the inflammation. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Justine. I'm a mum of two beautiful boys. I work in a full-time job that has drained me over the last 7 years. So I'm working weekends, 7 days a week, night shift, day shift, everything. And I needed to stop doing that. And this business has enabled me just to work Monday to Friday. I don't have to work the weekends anymore. I get to pay my rent every month with my monthly conditions. So that's really exciting. The biggest thing that it's done for my family is the inflammation with my mum. My mum was diagnosed with Parkinson's back in 2017 and was progressively going downhill and getting worse and weaker and pain, fibromyalgia, 20 out of 10 pain, and ended up in hospital just before Christmas last year. And there were times where I didn't think my mum was going to be here anymore. I can't believe it's so emotional. Watching my mum deal with everything that she had to go through and feeling so helpless. It was really hard as a daughter, and watching my stepdad having to look after her and then 24/7 having him not being able to sleep because mum couldn't sleep, and and all that kind of stuff. And anyway, it was February. I'd be on the phone to Deborah every day when I was Deborah and Roberta. I don't know what's going to happen to mum. I'm not sure how long she's going to be here for. And anyway, so in February, Deborah told me about the drops, the business, and and something that might help mum. And admittedly, at first I was like, oh, I'm not think about business right now. Like, there's so much stuff happening. And then looking at it, the disruptive wellness group, if you haven't gone into it yet, that's what changed me. And I went, that these testimonials are what are going to help my mum. I could just see something and I said, let's try it. So I'd gone into the hospital to see mum that I would take in for liver, and she had actually spoken to the doctor about it twice because she couldn't handle the pain anymore. But this one day I went in, she said, I don't want to die, I want to fight this. And I held her hands and I said, well then let's find something. Not knowing if anything was even out there. And that was the following week where Deborah told me about these. And I got on a call with Beth as well, and I got excited. I just went, number one, to help mum, but I also, there was part of me that saw the vision and thought, okay, opportunity here in Australia, this is pretty cool. And I took a bottle into the hospital straight away. The doctor looked at the ingredients and even charted it for the nurses to monitor. I was a bit nervous because she reacts to everything in the opposite. And we tried 3 drops and she had 40 minutes of no pain, which was huge when you think of 16 hours, 18 hours a day. And then it just goes bang, bang from there. And it's like 2 weeks later, really good results. 3 weeks in rehab throwing a netball, 4 weeks in the hydro pool. 6 weeks later, she's getting in the car doing a video on FaceTime live, going, look at me, everyone, I'm going home. And this is, this has just changed everything. And she is living her life. She's sharing these drops with people. And she asked me to give everyone a message today to say thank you. She's so proud of me, and what I've done with this business and sharing it. But she just, every day, she knows people share her story, and she's inspired by every one of you that are doing this business and helping it get out there. she just knows it's probably. No, I went over time, but thank you.
That's powerful, very memorable testimony. But you know, you don't need to be a business and have a huge testimony like that to grow a business and have a business like this. I mean, for me, I've been a professional landscape gardener for decades, off and on, with my entrepreneurship of doing many things. So I've got the gardener's back, and I've got a mastery dicky fingers and crook neck, and you know, all of those growing older kind of baby boomer aging things. And I've got to say that so many of them have just left my body. And so I jump out of bed like a jackrabbit every morning in a good mood, and I get that shovel and that mattock and that wheelbarrow like I was 35, you know, a couple of decades back. So I'm ever grateful for these incredible drops. I love them so much, and I love sharing them so much. So speaking of sharing, let's go on to the next testimony. And I think we might have Jennifer Richardson, who is a friend of mine who I called a few months ago. She's come down from Queensland to be with us. And the woman that stands before you today is a much changed woman, and I look forward to you listening to a little of her story. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Roberta. Oh, just listening to everyone else gets you going, doesn't it? I wouldn't even have mine yet. My friend is, oh, this is my frown, and my friend is in my hand here. This is my strength, and this is going to get me through. So, as Roberta said, I am standing here extremely grateful because 4 months ago, I probably wouldn't be standing here. So I need to go back in time a little bit and let you imagine what my last 66 years has been. Okay? So I got good at hiding all of this, okay? So from birth, I was born with a huge physical disability. Not only was I one of the twins, but I was born without an ankle on my left foot. And then my left foot was so much smaller than my right. So it was quite challenging for the doctors. Got lots of exploratory operations because they didn't know what to do. But they came up with an idea that they could give me an ankle joint, but they needed to fuse it, so it was frozen. Okay, so you can imagine how that impacted my whole life. But in fact, I see it as something that I grew from very, very early on, because every challenge, every operation, I just developed so much inner strength because I wanted to keep up with everyone else. But I had a reason to be here, and that's very personal. But the determination and the resilience to cope with life itself, you know, kids are very cruel at a young age, so I didn't want to be in front of anyone. So in my 30s, I entered a door, and that was the direct sales industry. And Jennifer found herself through that door. But I also found how to excel in other areas without letting that disability define me and to stop me. So I triumphed over adversity, and I won a huge lot of awards. I got very good at, you know, hiding the physical. And so this career had me traveling for many hours, had me standing for hours, and then I would crumble behind closed doors because I didn't want people to see that side of me. And so we've been in business, a few businesses together. So the people closest to me knew some of that. So just getting out of bed, just putting my foot to the ground, I didn't know what sort of day I was going to have. So the last few years, my crutches became my friend, because I would stand up to cook dinner with one crutch under my arm to hobble, you know, to just get around. And so, I had tried many products over the years, as we often do, and being in direct sales, you are opened to a lot of other people and what they're doing, and there's some great products out there. But because of my situation, because of my joint, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, because they say stay off it, but it didn't matter. No matter how much I stayed off of it, the next day would be exactly the same, because I didn't understand inflammation. I didn't understand
there was so much fluid. The fluid is there to obviously protect the joint and whatever. And so now with the drops, I do understand what was happening all those years, okay? But I just soldiered on. I did not let it stop me because I just found a passion I was there for other people. I did not see my disability as a disability. And so when you're thinking of picking up the phone, and Roberta picked up the phone to share this with me, I was very much aware of the technology, but I hadn't been aware of curcumin, believe it or not. I mean, I knew turmeric and coffee and things like that. But I was so open to just listening, okay? Because at that time, I was really in tears every day. And we're only talking February this year. I could not put my foot to the ground. I just moved house. And I had a fear for what my future was going to look like because I got good at pretending in front of everyone. So Justine, graciously popped some drops and I got them that week. My husband and I started. And I can honestly say the sleep was the first thing because even going to bed at night, the minute I was flat level, that the joint would just throb. It would just wake me up all night long. So I needed good sleep. So the sleep was number one. The energy was second. The pain, something was happening. People were commenting, I'm standing differently today. When I step out differently. My gait is different. So all this was happening. And then within a week, hand on heart, I have not had any pain in my ankle. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, they shortened my good leg, by the way, by 2 inches back when I was 12 years of age. If they didn't think that one bad leg was enough, I then had two, So, and with all the driving, yes, it became all throughout the body. So now I put myself to the test every day, and the walking up and down the stairs where I would pull myself up one step of the way, now I can put weight bear on either side. So I understand what that inflammation was doing, and I think a lot of us are naive about the inflammation. We expect growing old is to have inflammation, or no longer. And my husband is in joy that he doesn't have to hear this little boy saying, darling, my leg was so sore today. I mean, I knew he couldn't do anything, but it helped me to just let him know I was having a bad day. So all I can say is the joy that I can now see my future completely different, and to be so grateful that someone reached out and picked up that phone. And I know we hold back and we prejudge, but I'm so grateful. So from tears of pain to now tears of joy, because I'm just in awe. How much better can we all be? We don't know. So again, I've spoken far too long, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
For those of you who are in the business or perhaps are looking to come into this extraordinary business, be ready for goose pimples all the time. Goose pimples of good vibes, of good feeling. When these pimples come up, the body's telling me something, or I'm feeling something. And I forever feel these beautiful, good vibe stories from being in this business. I've never experienced it before, ever. So I stood there and I got goose pimples all again. Thank you, Jenny. Everybody, I would like to invite Catherine Rothberg. Catherine Rothberg is someone I've known for about 27 years. We've been in a previous business together. And I actually know how unwell Catherine was when I approached her about these drops a few months ago, and the impact that it's had on her, you soon now find out. Thank you so much.
Hi, my story actually, I feel, is significant compared to what we've just heard. Can everyone hear me? Right. Oh, no. Really? Right. Hi, my name is Catherine and I'm a brow fitter. Now, I work for a company and I have done for 25 years, and that's where we met. And I fit brows for a living. I believe my arthritis started a few years ago when I was in Fiji, fitting big busted women. Has anyone been to Fiji? So you know the women are quite big. Well, being quite well endowed myself, the bigger women came to me. So I had the great joy of fitting women that were like 4 times my size in the bras. Hence, I ended up with very, very severe arthritis in my left hand, to the point where last year I thought I'd have to give away my job because I couldn't do up bras anymore. I wore a brace that I got from a specialist, which have been wearing for 4 years. In April of last year, I started going downhill after what a lot of people may call long COVID, although I've never had COVID. So moving on from that, I went from having a little bit of pretty bad arthritis to being so inflamed that I had trouble walking. My hands were shocking. My face was twice the size. Everything that could be wrong was wrong. And every other week I would ring one of my friends over here crying and saying, today I'm well. And then 2 days later I'd ring her and say, I'm downhill again and I'm in bed, I can't move, through pain. So, and brain fog, like I've never known. I also had a lung infection and I went to hospital 4 times last year. And I was told on every occasion that there was nothing wrong with me other than anxiety and the fact that I was getting old. So that's my truth. That's my story. I was offered the job by Roberta. And this is what I saw. Week 1, I slept for the first time in months. And I will admit that I would still wake up constantly, but when I went back to sleep, it was very sound and solid. So I was getting sleep, real sleep. I also realised that when I got up to go to the toilet, which most people do in the middle of the night, I was no longer hobbling to the toilet. I didn't make old lady noises when I got up off the chair or out of the car. I'm going, this is insane. I also ditched the brace. The inflammation is almost gone from my hands. I will not tell you that I don't have arthritis anymore because I do, but I can move. And I'm wearing this T-shirt deliberately because now I can open a champagne bottle. 5 years I couldn't open a champagne bottle. So come to my house, I'll give you champagne. I also went to a concert with my darling friend over there and I clapped my hands and she looked at me and she said, why are you crying? And I said, because I haven't been able to clap my hands for 4 years because of the pain. So they're the little things. The other things are the energy. The brain fog is gone. I get up in the morning at 6 o'clock. I don't know why. And I can keep going till 11 o'clock at night. And that has amazed me as well. So all of these stories that so many of us have been told about as you get older, you slow down, you need to have, the nana nap. No, there's no such thing as a nana nap. You should be able to play with your grandchildren more, which is what I can do now. I also had arthritis in my left foot. Now, I was born with flat feet and I was given orthotics when I was 14, I think. So I've been wearing them for a very long time. 2 years ago, I was woken up in the middle of the night and my left foot had actually given way. It had become incredibly so flat that when I got out of the bed and walked on the tiles, my foot stuck to the tiles. I had to undergo 6 months of my feet blistering beyond belief because it actually did touch the ground. I had PRP, has anyone heard of that? Plasma transfer. I had it 3 times in the sole of my foot, which is incredibly painful, but it also didn't work. 4 weeks ago, and this is really recent, I realised I'm not wearing my orthotics anymore. And it was by accident. I put on a pair of shoes and forgot to put them in. So that's my newest thing, that I'm wearing no orthotics. I'm walking bare feet everywhere, which I haven't done for 43 years. So if anyone's thinking about trying these drops, oh my God. Everybody needs to be on these drops. They are insanely amazing. I think that's about it for me. I've gone over 3 minutes, but thank you very much. And from the bottom of my heart, I am eternally grateful because I don't know where I'd be right now if I hadn't found them. Because I was turning into that old lady that they told me I was. But thank you.
I think that they were insignificant. Somehow I don't think so. So accumulatively, lots of little things, although I don't say that Catherine's good at things at all, but you know, a lot of us have seen lots of little things accumulatively that make a huge impact. A little tiny change make a huge, huge difference in one's life. So, you know, I just see these as the optimizer. These get into the body and they just optimize the body's ability to heal itself. And this is what we have. Amazing, amazing little bottles of hope, of wonder, of Mother Nature, combined with a first-class, innovative, breakthrough technology to create something that's come at the right time in this very, very distinct world that so needs those things right now. So thank you for your attention. Thank you to my wonderful, wonderful testimonial people. It's appreciated. Thank you very much.
Wow. Hey, that was incredible. Thank you so much, Roberta, and for everybody for sharing that. That was absolutely phenomenal. And trying not to cry because that was just insane, right? Isn't it just insane? People just don't get it until they get it. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next part. And it would be remiss of us not to share that there is obviously a phenomenal business opportunity attached to this. So we love to help people with inflammation, and we can see how amazing it has been with inflammation. And we also love to help people with inflation, because I don't know about you guys, but everywhere around the world, we are definitely in a different economic climate than we were even a year ago, 2 years ago, drastically, 3 years ago, incredibly drastically, right? Inflation is not going away. And when I was speaking to Stephen about this opportunity, I had this little moment where I was like, I had this vision of the future of what was happening with inflation, because we all knew this was coming, right? If you had any idea, you knew this was coming. And I was like, inflation, I was like, and then right here, pre-launch opportunity, the product looks incredible. I muscle tested it right. I was like, this is going to be amazing, right? And then I realized pre-launch, like people understand this is not open yet. And then when I looked at the rest of it, I'll get into it, but inflation is a big issue. Inflation is absolutely not going away, and we're going to be seeing more of it. So if you are heart-centered, if you are impact-driven, and you recognize that, and you do want to make an impact, and you do want to create, you know, maybe it is an extra $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month to help your family and your friends, then you definitely want to hear about this. And you want to be here, right now, right time, right place, when we are just beginning. So just so you know. For me, as an entrepreneur, I had a lot of questions and I wanted to check a few things. Did you want to come up and talk a little bit about the first pillar here? So it says 5 pillars, but of course, we're talking about, I think there's 4 on here. We want to talk about Shane and Laura. So in this type of business, I'm sure that Stephen will be able to explain it a bit better. What is it that you want to tell us about Shane and Laura?
Sure. Should I kind of briefly tell how I interact here?
Absolutely.
My name is Steve. Everyone has to do something for a living. I get to start something that ends up like this. Amazing. And I really like just one simple decision, just ripple effect. And very briefly, I've been doing business like this for nearly 30 years. I'm also a practitioner. Probably half my clients are practitioners, and I love helping people. And in October of 2021, I was ready for an opportunity. But, you know, I'm not very money driven, right? It has to be interesting and impact people. And so what I did is I took my journal and I was very clear on what I wanted, and it was the word extraordinary. So I wrote in my journal, I wrote out, I want to build something extraordinary. For me, that means something that makes a significant impact, that lasts a long time. You know, for me, that's like generational impact. Does that make sense? Like the grandkids are like, oh, we love our lake house because years ago, grandpa started this business and whatever. Does that make sense? It's like, something that makes a difference. So I wrote out, I want to build something extraordinary. I can build something extraordinary. I will build something extraordinary. I am now, present tense, building something extraordinary. And I did that for 3 days. And on the third day, a friend messaged me about Beautify. And I find the biggest solutions to life are typically spiritually perceived before they're intellectually analyzed. That makes sense. So, and I saw it and I was like, ding, ding, I knew it was it. And I have a degree in economics. And so I am a little analytical. I have 30 years experience in this industry. So I kind of know what to look for. And I was like, oh, check mark, check mark, check, 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 check. I'm like, bingo, yes. So it lined up too. So one of the most important things is the founder of the company, Shane and Laura Brady, just amazing, amazing, amazing people. And Shane has spent all of his career in network marketing, but in the corporate side, running large divisions for network marketing companies, specifically in South America. And he has incredibly high integrity and saw some holes in integrity that happened with some companies. And he's why I said, you know, we're going to start our own company. And Providence, this technology landed in his lap. And so I've had the opportunity to, you know, over the past few years, as we're growing and changing and getting ready to go internationally, you know, you run into some things. And so I've seen him be very consistent in his ethics, very consistent in making decisions which are the right thing to do, even if it costs him, right? And so there's a lot of things I know I need for the person running a company to make sure that 10, 20 years down the road, we're still here. And so he checks all those boxes. Just I look forward to everyone being able to meet them. So. So sure. You know, good businesses solve problems, right? Now, I could make a lot of money trading currency, buying and selling stock options. Does that make sense? But I don't, you know, that's fine. But if I did that, I'm not actually making a significant benefit in the world. Does that make sense? I'm not really solving anyone's problems doing that. And so really extraordinary businesses solve problems, okay? And so one of the biggest problems in the supplement industry overall is lack of absorption of lipid molecules. And you may have watched the presentation so far and think that our product is golden drops. Well, yes and no. Really, our product is the delivery system for fat molecules. And we just happen to initially currently connect it to curcumin, which acts like a fat molecule. So this technology gives us the ability to solve the number one problem in the supplement industry, which is absorption, which in turn also gives us the ability to solve the number one problem in people's health, which is inflammation.
I don't want to push my mic. I'll be right from here. Thank you so much, Stephen. So just like Stephen said, I was the same. I was like, well, I just, you know, I've been around a little bit. I wanted to make sure, you know, there was a few things, a few boxes that needed to be ticked. Great founders, amazing people, heart-centered, leading from love and not fear. They actually made that decision. They were going to build this from love and not fear. So that was a big tick, you know, for me. Of course, it is a multi-patented technology that is unique, that actually works profoundly, as we kind of know now. And of course, again, I cannot stress this enough, as an entrepreneur, I get super excited about this. It is a very, very new opportunity. So it says here, 4 pillars to the 5-year success story. So it started in Mexico, and I might get this story wrong, but you can fix it up later if I do, Stephen, that's okay. Started in Mexico 6.5 years ago, 7, around that time. And of course, it was very cruisy in Mexico, right? Laid back, chilled. Barely sold online. Well, I don't think it was ever sold online, was it, as a customer at all? Didn't have an online presence. So in Mexico, it's like, maybe back in the 80s, Tupperware style, go to the cafe, that type of style, right? So that's how it grew really slowly and organically in Mexico. So they knew that they had a great product. And of course, it did grow even in that climate. They come across to the US about 18 months ago or so. And then to start with, they were still doing it old style. And the last 18 months, they've been getting everything up and going. So the back end system, getting just basically pulling them from the 80s into the 21st century is what, how I explained it. So it's got some great things about it because it's been around for so long, as in the product's got lots of benefits and we know it works, but it's actually really like a bit of a startup. And of course, to start to the US, it's been 18 months to the US and getting all of that stuff happening. We just did our soft launch and we're doing our opening and launch in Europe. And we are not even at soft launch stage here in Australia and New Zealand. So you can imagine we've still got about, 100 countries to open. I don't know, we'll just start there. But you can see it is an exclusive opportunity. So that's something that I really get excited about because I can see the vision. I don't know if you can see it already, but I can certainly see where this is heading and where we are right now. So the other thing I wanted to tick off my little list was it easy? I had the PTSD from a previous business. I was like, oh my God, just make sure it's easy. I just want to check it out. So very simple business, really simple business to build and to grow. And it really does sell itself. So pre-launch, guys, of course, it's open in USA, Mexico, UK and Europe, soft launch, about to do the launch at the moment. Australia, New Zealand and Canada is pre-launch. We can't do the rest of the countries yet, all right? The demand is very high. We've got to make sure that the stock is there. We've got to get it all there. But you can see, if you want to join the pre-launch team, we definitely are here for this. These are all the things we're ticking off the list, right? Family owned, legacy company, proprietary technology, simple rewards plan, customer first culture, humble and experienced leadership team. That's a really big one as well. And of course, international expansion into the US and beyond the US, obviously, we're right down under here. So a really simple system that everyone can duplicate. Those are all the things I was ticking off my list when I was looking at this opportunity and bringing it into Australia and New Zealand. So in this type of industry and in this company or in these companies, we want to check a few things out. Again, it's all about the timing. Is this going to be a great opportunity 5 years from now? Absolutely. The product's phenomenal. It's only going to get better, right? But right now, there is no other time like right now, right? We are here. We are at very early stages, early adopters. Think about businesses that, are now, think about other businesses in this industry, such as, I don't know, doTERRA, for example, other businesses like that. Imagine right at the very beginning. Right at the very beginning, before anyone even knows about it, that's where we're at. We get to this point in this type of business where it's called a critical mass tipping point. We're not even there yet. Again, we're not even in a lot of other countries yet. And when we get to that point, it's like all of a sudden hyper growth. So you can see where we're at on the screen. So for me, as an impact-driven entrepreneur, as somebody who loves to help people on a financial sense and of course a physical sense, this is very exciting and I really love to share about that. I also like to know about the simplified plan and wholesale options. So some people say, well, I just want to buy wholesale. That's okay as well. Absolutely. Are you interested in starting with us and being part of the pre-launch opportunity? I'll just quickly, in case you've got friends in USA and Canada, we couldn't get rid of the slide, so I better just pop it there. So we are in USA already, Canada pre-launch, but these are the packs that they start with. So if this is of interest to you, you need to start, everyone starts with a starter kit. In Australia and New Zealand, $339, kit $250, this is what you get. This is wholesale option, wholesale pricing. Okay, so we do have $60 international charges for the kit coming over, already built in. So it's $339 US, you get $480 US worth of value. Great option there. Of course, if you're really interested in helping people and starting a business, I like the next two options better because when I bought the biggest pack I could buy at the time and I sold out within 3 days. So just so you know, this happens, it's a regular problem. And right now the demand is so high, if you're lucky to get some of this product into your hands, just so you know, it's a rare commodity at the moment. So the kit 500, $689 USD, 990 USD worth of value, 22 bottles. How many people could you impact with 22 bottles? Think about that. That's going to be, of course, New Zealand, slightly different pack for different reasons. 18 bottles. So if you've got people in New Zealand, this is the pack for them. In Australia, we also have a kit 1250, 50 bottles. I mean, imagine the impact Imagine all the Jennifers and all of the Justines and Michelles that we could impact with that many bottles, right? How many people in your life could you impact with that? If you have people in Europe, they have slightly different packs as well, and they are about to do a launch. Make sure if you do, you get them to the launch in September. They're going to do a live launch with Steve. Will be there, won't you, Stephen? Yeah, awesome. So in this type of business, it's absolutely phenomenal for me, who has been in a traditional business before, to see how many ways you get paid in this business. 12 different ways to get paid. So once you actually start to do this and you share this, 12 different ways to get paid is phenomenal. The first part that you start to get paid is like retail, right? Here in Australia, New Zealand, it's belly to belly. We sell it like this because we're not open yet. We can't share our link yet. Belly to belly, there, you're pointing it out. Claire, you up there? Yeah. So we get, exactly, got the pictures. So belly to belly, we make retail, if you sell it for retail, we actually make a really decent profit. Wellness rewards, that's more for when we get the customers in, okay? Pre-launch guys, when we're open, the wellness rewards will come in Australia. If you have people in the US though, you can certainly sign them up as a customer. Startup bonuses, so when people join, you actually get a startup bonus for every pack that they buy. Triple bonuses, every 3 packs you sell, you actually get a bonus for that as well. And a GoPro Rapid Pro bonus. I'm not going to go through the other ones right now, but there are many other ways to get paid. And it's quite phenomenal when it starts happening. When you first start, this is what you really need to know, right? When you first start, you don't want to get too complex with everything, but you do want to know about the Rapid Pro bonus. So, for example's sake, Rapid Pro, first 30 days, you join with a Kit 500. You get 3 people that join with a Kit 500 in your first 30 days, direct with you, your link, right? I hope that's clear. You're all 3 people, you get 3 startup bonuses, which equals $350, a triple bonus of $120, and then you earn that Rapid Pro bonus. So you bought a Kit 500 for $600 in Australia, 500 and whatever it may be in USD, plus the shipping, and then you end up receiving $780 USD in your first 30 days. So all your money back, plus all that stock, and of course, the massive amount of impact and the ripple effect on everyone else within the world. So that is what we talk about in the first 30 days. And we can't make income claims, but we can tell you an average. And like I said, I've said many times, very, very new guys, everyone should be aiming for diamond. We've got plenty of time and opportunity for everyone to get to at least diamond, right? So we pay in USD, we get paid in USD. I kind of like that. We should probably pick that other one. But anyway, when we launch, we might just put that to them. So we get paid in USD. So Pro, the average is $200 a month. Senior 500, Master 1,000, Premier 2.5 USD a month. How much is that in Australia? Just Google it up. Elite 5,000, Diamond 10,000. That's an average, right? Imagine what 10,000 USD could do for you and your family. Averagely, it's about $14,000 to $15,000 Australian. I know. It's not bad. Okay, so we also like to check, and I think we've made this pretty clear. Who is this opportunity for? It's for anybody that sees the vision, that wants to make an impact. Yes, we've got some of your faces up there and some from the States still. Okay, so we have in this business literally working mums, stay-at-home mums, working dads, stay-at-home dads, teachers, healers, coaches, shift workers, grandparents, chiropractors, dentists, vets. We've got all the professionals and we've got everyone in between. You don't have to be a professional to make a huge impact in this business. You can just be anybody. And again, I think we've heard this before as well, but people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, they're the ones that are going to share this with passion because they just love it. And anybody can do this. And like I had that little drop, my inspired thought when I was looking at this originally in February, I was like, well, again, kind of like Rebecca said earlier today, we're going to be kicking ourselves if we don't actually just jump on in at this amazing timing of this opportunity. So I like to just remind people that your biggest opportunity might be where you are right now, from the famous Napoleon Hill, and nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. So I really advise you to understand it and just feel into where you are right now, where we are right now. And again, like I can't use the analogy, we're talking about, getting pregnant with what we're creating and what we're heading towards. We're just a little peanut right now, especially in Australia, New Zealand, but really in the world. We're a little peanut right now. We are literally in the process of building this business out. And I am one of, quite a few of us here that are super excited. So I want to thank you guys so much for your time and your energy, for coming here today, for making the effort on a Saturday afternoon in Melbourne. I know that's tough, especially when it's like this out there and there's footy on and everything else. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. We do have a special, so if people do want to join and they join today and they actually go back to the person that invited them, we have a limited amount of bottles that we're actually going to be able to give away. So if that is you, make sure you get back to the person that invited you here. And just stick around because we have a few bottles to give away just for you attending. There's only a few though, this stock is limited. So I think that, I don't know, I might get you guys to choose that out so I don't get, you don't know anybody. We forgot to put stickers under the chair. We might just like pull out a random, you know, does your name start with R? No. Because, you know, this stuff is golden, right? So stick around, network for a little bit, make sure you get back to the person that invited you and let's see what we can do for you because all of this demand is really, really high right now and the stock is just starting to really flow in Australia. Thank you so much for your time and your energy, guys. Stick around and ask your questions. Okay? Let's give away some bottles then. So